Hi, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Our second lesson for the unit is writing percents and fractions and vice versa, so the opposite. So if we're taking a look, our vocabulary term for the day is percent. Percent. It's a combination of two of your Greek and Latin root words, per meaning out of, and cent meaning out of 100 or 100th. So a percent actually just means out of 100. Now, we have a couple of quick check problems from the lessons that we did yesterday. Now, it's your choice, but I would recommend going through at least two of them. I'm going to write down the answers to these problems right now. So if you want to go through some of them right now, which would be a good idea, pause the video, go through it, and then resume when you're ready. All right? So pause now or listen to some of the answers. Here we have 3/4, 2 and 2/5, 4/10 simplified. Here we have 3/8. And here we have 1 and 83/100. That's in simplest form. Writing our fraction as a decimal. If you take a look, 10 is already in our decimal, so that's tenths, 4/10 as we say that. So that's 0 and 4/10 as my decimal. 3/5, I can times this by 2 to get 6/10. I've made that equivalent fraction to get 6/10. For 7/16, I'm just going to put it into my calculator. 7 divided by 16 gives me 4,375 10,000s. 4,375 10,000s. And then with my mixed number, I know 3 is my whole number. So that becomes my decimal to the left of the decimal. Then I take 1/4. 1 divided by 4 is 25/100. So I have 3 and 25/100. All right. Go turn over to the top of the next page. When we're looking at percent as a fraction in simplest form, if we're going to define percent, that's out of 100. So we take the 50 and write it with a denominator of 100. We then simplify to 1/2. So you take percent is out of 100, put the 100 underneath, take your number and write over the top. Okay. Try example 2 and 3. So you're going to pause the video right now and try example 2 and 3. For example 2, we have 60%. 60% out of 100. We put it into our calculator to simplify. 60 ABC 100, and we get 3/5. In a recent survey, 92% of cell phone owners said that they text message. What fraction of cell phone owners is this? Percent out of 100. So we have 92 out of 100. We simplify using our ABC key, and we get 23 out of 25. We always put it in simplest form. Always, always, always. Over to the top of the next page. The table shows the percent of each movie type rented during a month. What fraction of the rentals were action movies? You need to make sure that you go through, underline important information, find the action movies. That's 35 out of 100. When we simplify that, that's 7 over 20 because we divided by 5. Just as we had yesterday when we go from fractions to percents, when we went through fractions to decimals, we had to find 2 different methods. In this one, there are 2 methods as well. So method 1 is just very, very similar to what we did to change a fraction to a decimal. We can put it over 100 because remember, percent is out of 100. So we scaled back to scale forward to get 100. Scaled back to 3 over 4, then multiply times 25 to get to 100. So what I did on the bottom, I had to do up on the top. So it's 75 out of 100, or 75%. Our second method, very similar to before, turning it to a decimal, dividing 6 divided by 8, which is 75 hundredths. 75 hundredths is 75 over 100, which is 75%, which is out of 100. Out of 100. Example 6. Mitch made 12 out of 40 shots during the championship game. What percent of his shots did he make? So 12 out of 40 is a fraction. You can do this 2 ways. I'm going to show you both. We're going to simplify by dividing by 4, which will give us 3/10, which we can then multiply times 10 to get us to 100. So what I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. I get 30 out of 100, or 30%. The other method is to take 12 over 40, divide 12 by 40, which is 30 hundredths, 30 over 100, or 30%. Pause the video and go through the U-Try problem right now. Anya finished 42 out of her 60 math problems in class. What percent of the problems did Anya finish? So 42 over 60. We can bring that down the simplest form. Which is 7 over 10. We divided by 6. We then can multiply times 10 to get 100. We scaled back to scale forward and we get 70 over 100, or 70%. Or we take 42 divided by 60 to get 0 and 7/10, which moves over to 70 out of 100. That's my 100th place value. 70 out of 100 is 70%. All right. What you can do tonight is to start to work on these 2 ticket to work problems. These will be your problems in your bell work form tomorrow. So make sure that you're ready for those. All right. Have a good night.